2, 1, 0. We're live. I don't have your phone.
Pryvit.
Bonjour.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Brew, Season 1, Episode 79, a Yeg Music production. I'm your host, Marissa Kay.
I'm your other host, Millie Rouge. Good morning.
And there's a squirrel in that tree over there, and it's very cute.
Such a nice background.
It's real. I promise that it's real. It is not a green screen. I can prove it. Hold on. I'm going to prove it right now.
Go run around in the backyard. It's not a green screen. She straight up did a lap, everybody.
Did I look majestic?
You straight up did a whole lap. That was amazing.
Yeah. That's only half my backyard. The other half's over there.
That was awesome. So now, now you guys know it's real. It's legit.
Oh my God, Kay, the squirrel's right there. I want to move my camera, but I got it all set up. But it's sitting right there, and it's so cute.
It's so cute. Oh, I can hear him.
That's him. Shut up! I'm trying to film.
That's literally me on Reddit every time I stream outside, and I hear these little. Well, first of all, the chipmunks aren't too bad, but the freaking crows are like, rat, 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 rat. I'm like, are you kidding me? I sound beautiful. You are ruining my majestic sound, you asshole.
All the time. But
So
you know, it's
funny.
fine. I'm in nature, and I had a really wonderful morning. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the extra time and set up outside today. So plus it was just like, it's going to be a gorgeous day today. So I was like, why not?
Yeah, take advantage of it.
Yes.
Yeah, yesterday I really wanted to do something, but the problem is when it's so warm, like here in Canada it's 30 degrees, but I don't know what that is in American Fahrenheit. I'm not going to translate that for you because it's stupid. But it's just like I didn't know what to do because I really wanted to do something, but I was like, how do I be outside when it's plus 30? So Chris and I just set up. He set up a Nintendo Switch, our old Nintendo. Like, we have a Super Nintendo game, and then like we have a really ghetto old TV. Sorry, that was needed to come out. Thank you. And and then we just like laid on a blanket in the sun for like an hour or two. Well, not in the sun, in the shade, but it's really nice.
Yeah, I know, you sent me a snap. It was adorable.
Everyone's like, "Yo, Chris is knocked out." I was like, "I know."
Honestly, what else is there to do on a lazy warm day?
Well, it's hard on warm days.
Well, and we don't get much of that here in Edmonton. Like, it is so warm and humid right now that I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in like LA again, or like not Hawaii, because Hawaii is like
different,
super humid. But
yeah,
when it's this nice and like the bugs aren't bugging me right now, like it is literally the perfect morning.
It's beautiful.
And I feel so good.
Well, the thing that sucks too is we don't have any really like body of water to like gravitate towards. Like, you know, if you know it's gonna be a hot day, you can plan to go to the beach.
Yeah, you can't go to the North Saskatchewan River. No one wants to be around that thing.
No one wants to even go close to that. So yeah, it's kind of sad, but is what it is. So not a big deal.
It is what it is. Sorry, I'm watching too much TikTok.
The closest we have is like Lake Wabamun or whatever it's called. But the problem with those lakes is they're always
Wabamun's pretty cool.
They always have like algae or like So I always try and go to Sylvan Lake if I can, but that's like
Pigeon Lake's pretty cool.
Far away. I don't think I've ever been to Pigeon Lake.
Or have you been to Horseshoe Lake in Jasper?
No, but I've heard about it.
It's like a glacial lake. I went there like 10 years ago.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, it was amazing. It was like this it's glacial, so it's like freezing cold. So you jump in and your whole body like sucks into itself.
Shock.
But after you get used to it and you get out in the sun after you've been in the cold water, oh my God, it feels so good.
So nice. Yeah.
A bunch of my friends went there like not a bunch, there was like 3 of them, but they went just like this last weekend. I've been watching their Snap stories. I was like, I want to go. I know. My FOMO was acting up. It was acting up.
We should plan something. Let's go to Sylvan Lake or Pigeon Lake. Let's do it.
Ooh, yeah.
When we are not streaming, which is never. So
we'll go in like 2 years.
Yeah, when we're 30.
And then by that time the pandemic will be over. So it'll be
perfect. So, welcome everybody to the show today. We are going to talk about some news like we always do, and we're going to do an album review. I'm very, very curious to hear your opinion on this because I had some opinions, and I feel like yours might be the same. Ah!
I have one funny thing to say about it, but I'll talk about it after. I have one funny thing to say. You're probably going to guess what I'm going to say, but anyway, let's get into our
Yes.
topics first.
So, the first one is venues. Part 2, because we have already talked about this once already. So this is just an extension of that conversation, but kind of more so like an update on what's been happening. So why don't you jump into this one? I'll jump into the next one.
Yeah, so the situation is grim. Toronto concert venues look to government funding for survival because, venues are suffering right now.
They really have no way to be open. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this article here that I've got. As music lovers flock to drive-in concerts across the country to get their concert fixes during COVID-19, their favorite indoor venues remain closed and are at risk of staying closed permanently. And we have a lot of these in Edmonton, like a lot of places have closed permanently, which sucks. The pandemic has left music halls in Toronto and across the country empty, with owners hoping they can make it to the new year. The president of Canadian Live Music Association, Eric Benjamin, says the live music industry is being challenged in a way that's never been in its history, which is fair. Yeah. We're losing venues left and right. Like they're dropping like flies, basically. Pardon the
they're
metaphors,
trying to stay open, but it's tricky.
Yeah. So basically, the proposal they have, he said, or who said that? Jeff Cohen. He's an owner of Toronto's venue Lee's Palace and Horseshoe Tavern, as well as Collective Concept
I love that place.
Company.
Place is
yeah,
awesome.
so that's what he does in Toronto, and he says he doesn't expect to be able to produce a concert until April or May of next year.
Oof.
Yeah. So they have to really rely on the kindness of the landlords to basically cut them a break right now, because it's pretty grim, and they won't survive without help.
Horseshoe's quite well known. Like July Talk plays there. Like pretty well known bands play there. So that kind of says something if a venue like that is struggling.
If a big venue like that is struggling, can you even imagine what it's like for the small venues? And small, like even like with big businesses and small businesses, not even in music and just in general. Small businesses are suffering too. And it's like I walk down downtown just off of Jasper. And I walked by and it was like a ghost town. It was like for lease, sold, empty. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. It's insane.
And it really saddened me just walking around looking at all that. I was like, damn, this is super sad.
Yeah.
So Canadian Heritage has set up a fund of 500 million emergency fund to support organizations working in culture, heritage, and sport. 20 million of which will go directly to live music industry. According to an email sent by, what did they say? According to an email sent by the Department of Canadian Heritage and Radio Canada. They want to provide financial aid to for-profit festivals and venues that don't ordinarily receive federal funding through the Canadian Music Fund for the first 6 months of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And as they go forward, they said our goal is to get to next March, basically. They just said they want us all to they're like, we just want to be there with it. And yeah, and so they're trying. And I mean, we're all relying on government funds right now. I mean, I'm one of those people. I am working a lot less than I would be in the summer. All my gigs got canceled with the party band that I rely on for income in the summer. All of our wedding gigs got canceled. So I'm not playing any weddings right now, which sucks because that was like my main source of income for the summer. And the summer camps that I was supposed to be teaching, I'm not teaching those anymore. So like I had a full summer of work for the first time in like years, but now that's all gone. So I'm one of those people who's like, hey, I need some money.
Yeah. So do you make the mark of like being able to apply for CERB because you make under that amount? Okay. That's
yes, I do.
Fun
look into Marissa's financial situation.
Yeah. That's why I yeeted out of my job and was like, hey, gotta find another one. And luckily I found one very quickly. But it's just kind of the niche of the job that I have. But
yeah. And I mean, it's tricky for local venues even too. Like, I mean, individuals are looking for help, but also venues and small businesses, like they're really,
Yeah.
really hurting right now. And I mean, the place that I teach out of right now, that's a small business, and they're
Mm-hmm.
suffering too. And
Mm-hmm.
like everyone's hurting right now. And so
Yeah. It's not
it's
easy for
scary to think
anybody.
about. And I mean, we're all just trying to keep our heads above water until
Yeah.
eventually this calms down, which we don't even know when that's going to be.
Uh-huh. Anyways, let's talk about something a little bit
Anyway,
more depressing, but
anyway,
not as depressing. I also want to mention that website, that those articles was linked from cbc.ca, just so everyone knows.
yes,
Let's talk about dogs dying, which is not any better, but let's talk about it.
great.
So
I'm
Young
so
Thug,
excited.
who's actually an artist that I'm actually not very familiar with, so I looked him up. He is an American rapper, singer, songwriter. He's considered to be one of the most influential rappers of his generation, with his music being heavily shaped around contemporary trap music. It
Mm.
has inspired many artists. So he's actually a few years older than us, and he's signed to 1017 Records, YSL
Mm-hmm.
Records, anyways, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of I don't want to say funny story, but like when you it's just a little I don't know. It's just interesting to be a hot
Yeah.
topic. But he actually got a tattoo in honor of his late dog, Ms. Tootie.
Oh my
So he's mourning
God.
the loss of his beloved pup, Miss Tootie, and the rapper got some ink to remember his dog forever. And on Instagram, he
Mm.
wrote, "I love you, mama," and alongside a photo holding his fluffy friend and smiling.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna cry. It's okay. He
Not
followed
gonna
up
cry,
with
not gonna
another
cry, not gonna
photo
cry.
showing off his new leg tattoo, which features the sweet face, and it says "Rest in peace, Miss Tootie" underneath. So,
Oh my goodness.
I mean, pretty cute, but like, ugh. Actually, and that's really all the article is. It's not very long, but that was from
Mm-hmm.
Billboard.com as well. But I found it interesting because actually yesterday on the Reddit stream, someone told me that their dog, who was only 6 years old, had passed away, and they asked me to sing a song for them, and I was like, yeah, for sure, like I'll play a
Aw,
song. And then I kind of thought about it. I was like, my dogs are 6, and I was like,
that's so sad.
so I sang this. Well, the only one I could think of off the top of my head was a Taylor Swift song, but it's like basically the
Aw.
lyrics are like, I can't breathe without
Ugh.
you, but I have to. No. And after I was like, I'm not gonna cry, not gonna cry. I don't even know this
Not
dog.
gonna
I'm
cry,
not gonna
not gonna
cry.
cry. Yeah. Also,
So
I'm gonna really quick. I'm just gonna like move over because I just realized
yeah.
that my laptop is directly in the sun, so I'm gonna like move
Oof,
it before it overheats.
oof, oof, oof. I lost your audio, but I'm assuming you'll come back. Oh, I just looked up the photos of Ms. Tootie, and she's so freaking cute. Set change. Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you.
I know I
Oh,
muted it
okay,
because
okay, okay.
it was like, and I didn't want to
Oh,
like
okay, gotcha. Thank you.
I
Appreciate
didn't
that.
want that to happen. Anyway,
Also, I just got to show you a
yes.
photo really quick of Ms.
What?
Tootie. Because look at the
Oh my
precious little
God.
baby. I'm going to cry. That is so freaking cute.
Oh my
That is
God.
so cute. She has
It's
her
gonna
own Instagram.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
gosh. And I mean, it's hard. Like, it's hard for just humans in general to have dogs, but I mean, there's celebrities too that have animals, and usually they have a lot of animals, but it's hard for everyone. Like, no matter the loss of a little puppy, it's always
mm-hmm.
hard. So I say rest in peace to your cute puppy, Miss Tootie, and I hope that she's eating dog treats in heaven and she's fluffing around all cute with her other dog friends. And that's what I like to believe, that dogs go to
Yeah.
dog heaven and they have more fun.
Oh, of course they do.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I who wouldn't do that for their dog? Like
Yeah.
how could you not do that for
I
Marshall or
know.
Lily?
I
You know what I
know.
mean?
So
Ah,
I'm going to quickly change the subject for a second. I quickly want to mention, if you guys are watching this stream on Reddit, make sure to pop over on Twitch and YouTube, as we live stream on there as well. YouTube will actually be posted an hour after the show, but go check it out if you want to kind of see more from us and give a follow.
yes,
So let's
sir.
talk about our last article of the day.
Yes.
Do you want to jump into it, or do you want me to jump into
So
it?
you can jump into it if you like.
Okay. So this is kind of another music-related story. Again, we have
Mm-hmm.
another one of these. This is from Billboard.com again, just for credit sourcing. The organizers of that controversial Chainsmokers concert responded. So the video doesn't convey how careful we were. So let's get a little bit of backstory. There was a posh night of EDM and socially distanced revelry was promised this past Saturday when the
Mm-hmm.
Chainsmokers performed a charity drive-in concert in the Hamptons. Admission for the event ran between uh, 12. I'm saying this weird. $1,250 to $25,000, with all profits going to local charities. The show
Mm-hmm.
happened at an outdoor sculpture park, opened with a set by Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon, who performs as DJ Diesel. I'm not
Oh,
familiar
okay.
with that, but it sounds, yeah.
I'm also not familiar with it, but sounds cool.
Yeah. But online backlash quickly sparked in the wake up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, sorry. Of the show, with footage from the event shared social media showing a crowd that didn't appear to be properly distanced assembled in front of the stage.
Hmm.
So the organizers assured that the event would follow the community guidelines to help the disease control and prevention. But before online tickets were purchased, guests had to complete an online COVID questionnaire. Attendees were given free face masks. They
Mm.
had their temperature checked upon arrival. Bathrooms at the event were cleaned every 10 minutes. Guests were instructed that they would not be allowed to leave their designated spot for any reason other than to use the washroom. Um, so announcements, reminders are made every 30 minutes from the main stage. Security guards are regulating this, so there was a lot of protocols in place. But the show has faced backlash on Twitter since, with the artists, including the Knox and others, assessing that the show put lives in danger while the rate of COVID-19 infections hit across the country.
Yeah.
So the event organizers are saying we did everything we could in our power to ensure these were followed, despite the fact that there's videos kind of circulating everywhere showing that clearly things were
Yeah.
not
Well,
being mandated.
yeah, and on top of that too, they said that the video everyone's talking about was taken from an angle that doesn't properly convey how careful we were
Mm-hmm.
to follow the. So, but uh, uh,
Mm,
what?
that's not a good enough excuse, though.
Well, no, I don't know if it's not a good enough excuse. I'm just trying to understand like what angle it could have been shown from that would have
Highlighted
not.
it better.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I need to watch the video clearly because
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
I
that's
just,
interesting.
I don't understand why. Why do you need to do this so badly?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, why can you not wait? I understand celebrities are like pushing out albums, pushing out everything, but like,
Mm-hmm.
you understand the severity of it. Why are you pushing? Why are you even bothering when you don't need to necessarily do this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of how I feel. I'm like, I don't understand
Yeah.
the rush and the need to like be in live music right away if you don't need to and if you know that it's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we're all missing festivals. We're all missing our
Mm-hmm.
gigs. I mean, I think musicians and like theater people can understand this probably more than most.
Yeah.
That it's like it I understand the need. I'm saying I'm not judging people for wanting to go to concerts because I feel ya. I really
Mm-hmm.
do. Um, I've been missing live music so freaking much.
Yeah.
But in terms of like if they were filming a video, I'm like, well, then why would they have a crowd there?
Yeah.
But or just less people. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not a health expert. I'm not an expert in any of these fields.
Yeah.
I guess I'd have to watch the video to actually be sure. I haven't actually seen that video, so I can't
Mm-hmm.
really say too much to it. Um, Also because like I'm like a just a musician from Edmonton, so
Yeah.
like I can't say much to it. But
Yeah, I'm
I
checking
can't
out
say
some of the video footage and it's not looking so great.
really.
Yeah. It's just like
Well,
no masks, you know, there's no lack of like trying to socially distance. Some people are in
hmm
groups and I'm sure they're like, "Oh, it's fine because we're in a group," but it's like no, like that's not, you know. And this was recently brought up too by a bunch of TikTokers who recently had like a
hmm
massive house party and people were like, "What are you doing? Like
hmm
none of you are wearing masks. There's over 100 people clearly in this house party." Like so it's just
hmm
people are caught us saying, like, just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you get to just pretend like you're immune to this disease. Like, everyone is possible to catch this, no matter if you're a 2.2 millionaire, million followed TikToker. It doesn't matter. Like,
True.
so anyhow,
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's such a hard subject to talk about because I mean, at the end of the day, as much as I want to go to concerts, as much as I want to,
yeah,
go to parties with my friends, and as much as I want to be out in public and see people and make connections and all that stuff that kind of fuels your soul, it's not more important than
yeah, the lives of
somebody's
other
life,
people. Yeah, hmm
So
exactly.
that's anytime I try to make a decision when I'm going out to do something, I'm like, is this more important than keeping people safe? And the answer is always usually no.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Unless it's like, hey, I have to go get groceries, or hey, I got to go to the store, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And it's different if you have that cohort household, um,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
that's like another thing. But again, we're getting too much into that other stuff. We're
Yeah,
talking about this band and their
this
videos.
concert, yes.
Um, I mean, I think maybe the concert aspect of it was unnecessary, but I don't know. It's tough to say.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, it's a tricky thing.
Yeah.
So I think it is now time. Yeah, it's around time for our
Mm-hmm.
second segment of the day, our second portion of the
Mm-hmm.
stream. So we get to talk about album reviews. So really quick, again, if you guys are
Yeah.
enjoying what you're hearing, make sure to pop on over to Instagram. You can find all the links to our social medias if you want to see more of our shows. We do a lot of live streaming, so you
A
really
lot.
want to make sure you're up and at 'em on that.
Like a lot.
Yeah, like Marissa today, for example, is streaming live music today on Reddit. And
Yes, I
then
am.
this evening, we'll be streaming live music on YouTube, Twitch, and Reddit. So, I mean, just follow. Follow on Reddit, follow on Twitch, follow on YouTube. You'll see the notifications. If you want to watch, cool. If you
Yes.
don't, whatever.
And if enough people want me to, I'll try to stream outside.
Ooh, you should. If you don't
Ooh.
sweat your life away.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully my
Woo!
laptop. I didn't think about my laptop getting hot out here, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
No, it's all good.
But might just have to do this, and there might just be a glare on me, and I might just put this over top of here, and there we go.
So let's get into our album review of the day.
Yes.
So, friends, we are going to be reviewing the album Heartbreak in the Hills by the boy, Conor Matthews. So I'm just pulling up my notes here to talk about him. But let's talk about him as an artist first, because I don't know a whole lot about him. And I kind of want to learn more about who he is before we talk about his album and his new release.
Yeah. So I'll talk about him a little bit.
Sounds great.
So yeah, Conor Matthews, he actually has a very interesting backstory here. So let me just pull up the article that I had. All right, so it's very hard to see. I didn't think this through sitting outside. Anyway, so he's a Nashville-based vocalist, Conor Matthews. He is an emotive singer-songwriter known for his pop and R&B influenced sound. Matthews first emerged online in 2016 with a cover of Chris Brown's Grass Ain't Greener.
Gross.
Raised in Chicago, Matthews began writing his own songs while he was still a teenager. After high school, he moved to Nashville, where at the age of 19, he caught the attention of Keith Urban. Yes, that Keith Urban, who helped sign him to a writing deal with Warner/Chappelle. In 2016, he issued a cover of Chris Brown's Grass Ain't Greener, and then he released 3 of his own singles, Inside Out, I Told You, Love You, Drink About. Following the same course in 2019, he issued the tracks On and On, Heaven Help Me, Midnight Fire, and more. So his sound is similar to like that of Justin Timberlake, Shawn Mendes, what's the other person? Usher, yeah.
All those peeps.
Yeah, so he's busy. Sorry, it says brimming with Justin Timberlake meets Zayn Malik vibes.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I could see that.
So when's this article from? 2018. So he was 23 at the time, so now he'd be 25.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 25. Cool. Probably 25, give or take.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's basically all I got about him. Was just that he's like a hustler, and he's just been working really, really hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of anything else that I think of. Yeah, like he's got this amazing kind of way of moving his voice in and out of all of his songs and kind of having all these different influences, but also
Mm-hmm.
making it kind of modern.
Yeah.
That's a little about Connor Matthews. He's a dope
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Very cool. So we're going to talk about the actual album really quick before we jump into our opinions and our reviews on it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is called Heartbreak in the Hills. I have linked on Twitch where you can find this album, the little Spotify if you want to listen along. So this is a 5-track EP, quite short, but sometimes short and sweet is perfect. Exactly what we need. So this
Mm-hmm.
was released 4 days ago on July 24th. And I actually got this from AmericanSongwriter.com. And this is actually a direct quote about the album from Conor himself.
Ooh.
So he wanted to showcase the parts of a breakup that can be exciting and fun because you're casting off weights you didn't know you had and embracing life to the fullest. So you're meeting new people, you have new friends, lots of
Ooh.
new experiences, he explains. He was having the time of his life post a toxic 3-year relationship. To me,
Ooh.
it felt like what a summer breakup feels like. Half of my heart was bleeding, but the other half was lit. Sorry, I didn't read that part before this. Oh my gosh.
I like this guy.
Rather than telling this like a sad boy, I wanted people to be able to bump this EP. So I'm continuing to iron out my
Hashtag
lane
sad boy.
and embrace all of the influence from pop to R&B. This
Amazing.
project adds a piece of the narrative of who I am as a person and as an artist. I can totally picture meeting this dude, and I know exactly what his personality would be like just from reading that one interview.
Oh yeah.
Quote.
Oh yeah. That is
So,
amazing.
yeah. I didn't find out too much more about how the album was made or where it was made, unfortunately. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'll leave that up to interpretation. And if you guys find out more, then awesome. But I can't find any more.
Yeah.
So let's chat
He's
about the album itself.
yeah, and really quick on Twitch. Oh, we got the album up already. Okay, great. Um yeah, so first impressions of this album.
Mm-hmm.
It was so funny because like I didn't know anything about that it was about, well, I mean, I kind of figured it was about a breakup,
Yeah.
but when I was listening to some of these songs, just like I was on my bike ride yesterday, so I listened to it on my bike ride, and I will
Nice.
say it helped me out a lot with exercise.
Yeah.
So that
Which
was
is
pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And upon first listen, you're gonna laugh at me for saying this, and I'm sorry if it's not taken as a compliment. I promise it is, but it's really, really funny to me, and it was the first thing that popped into my head.
uh,
I was like, I'm I was like, it's like Frick Boy the album.
Oh my god, that's exactly what I thought. I literally was like, "This is a fuckboy." I'm sorry, but like, this is totally a fuckboy in the best way possible.
But like,
Yes.
yeah, I didn't know how else to describe it. I listened
Nope,
to it. I was
that's
like, oh my
exactly
god,
what I
this is
thought.
every. I was like, this is every Bumble conversation, every Tinder Hinge conversation that I've had with a guy that it went nowhere. And I was like, he's like, you don't hit me up anymore. You used to hit me up. Oh, shut up.
I'm your sex
But-
playlist. I turn you
Oh
on.
my god.
I'm sorry, Connor. We do love you. It's just
No, I do. I did
I got
really
some
love this
heavy
album.
F-boy vibes.
Oh yeah, it was. But I mean, that's just kind of like what I think that might have been like the
vibe.
intention
Yeah,
behind it. But
totally.
oh my god, I loved it. I loved it so.
I did. It was actually
so
a really
much.
great album. It's just the first impression was definitely
It was
holy
hilarious.
shit, you are an F-boy in the best way
Yeah,
possible.
and man, it was great. I was just like I was vibing to this one. Like I turned it on and I was kind of riding on my bike and I don't know, I felt it. And there was
Yeah.
like definitely bops on this one for sure. And I think that like you mentioned his intention was to be a sad boy, but also to not write like a sad boy.
Yeah, which
So
I appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciated that for sure. And I mean, that's kind of what we're doing with our album, to be honest. So I can't really say anything to that
No,
fact.
absolutely. That's so true.
Yeah.
My kind of first impressions was that this is like really good pop music. Like if you want to talk about typical pop music, this is a really good display of it. Sometimes you can get really shitty kind of like attempts to make pop music that's just like too much, or it's like too like, I'm sorry, baby. And you're just like, shut up, you know? But like this was like actually really well done. And this guy seems like he's like very confident in himself.
Oh yeah.
Which is good. But he writes from this different perspective. Like, it's interesting to hear it from someone
Mm-hmm.
who's very confident in themselves. Like, yes, they're dealing with the heartbreak, but they're still like, yeah, I'm the shit, like, whatever. And I think a lot of pop music can be seen as, like, I don't want to say it's a lot of, it is pop, I think, is more dominantly, like, female based. Like, there is a lot of male bass in the pop scene, but I think
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it can be from females, and we typically write from this, like, typically like a same direct approach of like almost like we almost blame ourselves in the music, and like we, wonder what we did wrong, when and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
like Conor was saying, it can just be a toxic relationship and it can just not work out, right? Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it's necessarily anyone's fault. Maybe it's both of your faults, like there's a different perspective level of confidence, and I think this is sometimes the difference between males and females sometimes, is that we process things differently, for sure. Like,
Mm-hmm.
especially when people go through breakups. I know everyone goes through them differently. But I think females definitely take it more personally to begin with. And
Oh yeah.
I feel like males sometimes will be like, hell yeah, like, I'm single. But then like 6 months later, there they are hitting you up being like, I'm so sorry. And the girls are like, no, like,
Boy bye.
I'm over this. So it's just
Yeah.
interesting. Like, I'm not saying that's every single person, and I'm not saying because you're a boy that's exactly how you act, or if you're a male.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's kind of the stereotypical thing.
Well, and
So
it like the impression that I got when I was listening to this album and the lyrics and everything, I got the impression, which maybe it's because like I understand that it was like one of those albums where
yeah.
you're thinking, okay, I want to say this,
Mm-hmm.
but I also don't want to say this. So there's like a couple of times where I was like, it's the kind of album where you write it and you're like, oh no, I hope my ex doesn't hear this
Mm.
song, but you kind of like really hope that they do.
Yeah.
I think that's what this album is. Like he
Yeah.
wants that, like clearly he wants this person to know that it's about them.
And that
Like
he's having a lit
obviously.
summer.
Yeah. Like I'm
uh,
doing great without you. What are you talking about?
exactly. On
Yeah.
Reddit, we have from Shainum Gaming here. He said, "Hi, Vienna and Marissa. Welcome, welcome. My name's
Hi.
actually Millie Rouge, and Marissa Kay's on the left of me here. We
Yes.
are doing an album review today of Conor Matthews' Heartbreak in the Hills. If you guys want to listen along, we'd love to have you listen. I'll link the thing on Twitch again, and maybe we can link it in Reddit too. So
Yes,
thanks
yes,
for
yes.
hanging out with us today, guys. So let's talk about things that we enjoyed on this album, things that really stuck out to us and that we really
Mm.
were impressed by.
Yeah, I think one of the things that impressed me the most about this album was the catchiness of all the tunes.
Yes.
Which I wasn't expecting. Like when I like again, when I first listened to it, I was like, okay, this is such a fuckboy album. But
But in the best way possible.
comma, um, still, I was really taken in by the beats. I was like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
absolutely.
like Conor Matthews got me agreeing with him like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm also listening to it in my headphones, as you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, like, he had a really good usage of auto-tune in his tracks. Like, it was perfectly placed. Because sometimes auto-tune can just sound like garbage depending on how you use it. And if you use it wrong, it really can be wrong. So I
True.
really liked the way he used it. The music was driving. The drums in the background were very driving. Most of the songs like were super driving, high energy, and it made it a really fun summer bop kind of album, like he said that he was trying to go for. I definitely got some like old school Bruno Mars, Justin Bieber. I had some Drake vibes there with his little like rapping.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so glad I'm not the only one. I literally, I listened to this in the shower again when I got home after my bike ride, and I was like, okay, I was
Drake.
trying to describe what this album sounds like, and I was like, it's like Drake with the vocals of Justin Bieber,
Canadian
with the
goodness.
showmanship of Bruno Mars.
Okay, if you go Drake, Justin Bieber, and Shawn Mendes, that's literally a freaking Canadian dream. So
Canadian dream
you're
team
welcome.
right there.
So I thought that like with the vocals being quite broad and really like diverse and really unique. Like I thought he did a really,
The songs were very different.
yeah, I think the vocals really, really stood out on this album for me.
Mm-hmm.
But with the instrumentation being super light and just like fluffy and not much to it, I think it just complemented it really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said what you said, like the songs were super catchy. I could totally see this resonating with a lot of young fans, young like female fans specifically. Dudes maybe could like this too. Like, I don't know, because guys are very particular with their music. I feel like it's hard to pinpoint. Like, I think a lot of males sometimes don't like to listen to other males, if that makes sense. Like, think about Justin Bieber. Would you see the very much likeliness of seeing a guy there on his own, like just being like, whoa, is very unlikely, but
I think
you never know.
that more guys listen to it than they care to admit. I think they just will not admit that they want to listen to it.
And I don't understand why it's like an embarrassing thing to some people.
I think that any boy who's gone through a breakup is gonna listen to this album and they'll be like, but then they won't tell anybody that they listen to it. And I was like, you got to feel your feelings.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to sit in your feelings for too long, this is the perfect album to just like bop to it.
Or blast Drake if you want to feel your feelings. Okay, it's okay to cry.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, it's okay to admit that you want to listen to this album. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't fight it.
Absolutely.
Don't fight it. Yes.
Yeah. So anyhow, rant aside, I really enjoyed it. Let's talk about things that maybe we didn't like so much on the album, or things we wanted to hear instead. Anything like that.
I mean, obviously there was a theme to this album. Every song was pretty much the same in terms of like lyrical content. Like they were all basically about the same thing. But again, like the album's called Heartbreak in the Hills, so I can't really fault him for writing songs about heartbreak and breakup, because that's what the album is. I think for me, I would have loved just like one tune that wasn't about like sex, if that makes sense. Like, I just think it would have been cool to just like have like a bopping tune of just like, yeah, I'm single, I'm having a good time, and like I would have appreciated a song kind of like that. But I'm not going to sit here and tell Conor Matthews what to write, because I mean, I'm not Keith Urban, so I'm not going to tell him what to do. So I think that was probably like in terms of anything else, that was probably the only thing I didn't like. Everything else, I was like, I love this album.
Yeah, absolutely. Great album.
Yeah. What about you?
Sometimes it was super pop structured in the songs, which is a bit predictable after a while, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just sometimes it's very formulated, like A B, you know, kind of deal. I would have loved to actually have heard a ballad done on this album. Ooh. I think that might not be his style. It might not have been what he was going for in this EP, but I think that this would highlight like his talent and his vocal ability like 100 times, you know, like, and I know, like he said, he wants to keep it very light, fluffy, and like summer pop album, but I think that could have been a really, really cool addition to this album, and really could have like taken it from, you know, like I like this album to I love this album, you know.
Yeah.
So that's just in my opinion, though.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair.
Just because he's got such a nice voice, I just want to hear him riff for like 3 minutes in slow motion, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, like he does have the vocals for it, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, a ballad would have been cool. I think that definitely would have been cool. Like but again, like because I know that his intention was he wanted everyone to be a bop, and I mean we've even talked about that for our album, so I can't say I fault him for that, but
it just would have been an interesting addition.
It would have been interesting to get like one sad boy song, just one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our favorite songs. Believe it or not, my favorite song was SEX, or whatever it was called, Sex, basically. And the reason I loved it is because it's just the ultimate frick boy song, being like, hey, I'm gonna hit you up, we're not dating, but why not? Ha 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 ha. So I mean, and the lyrics were very clever, so I was like, I enjoy this. Like, it's, as much as it's like an experience I wouldn't want to go through with an ex-boyfriend, I just thought it was a great song. Well done.
I think my favorite song was the one that I could most relate to, just being in the dating world for like 3 years now. And I think the one that resonated with me the most was "She Don't Hit Me Back No More," and I was like, yeah, that's me. The girl that
Yeah.
doesn't hit him back is me. And it was like, because it was just like I understood his perspective of it, but I was looking at it from like the girl's perspective, and I thought it was a great song just in that sense of like,
Yeah.
it might have been like a sad thing for him, but for me it was like a very empowering song. It was
So
just like,
that's why
she
you did
like
that
used to
last
hit
night.
her up on the weekend. Da, 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 da. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, what you gonna do about it? Nothing. She don't hit me back.
Absolutely nothing.
And so
Oh, that's funny.
that's why I think this album has a lot of really cool ways that you can listen to it. I think from a female perspective, it's a
Yeah.
very empowering album.
Totally. Totally.
And not to laugh at people's heartbreak, but like sometimes you just gotta laugh at yourself and the
Yeah.
craziness of the world. And I laugh at my own heartbreak all the time. You know me.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say quickly, thank you to Eluvius. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Eluvius40 for the follow on Twitch. Thank you.
yay, thank
Woohoo.
you. I'm trying to pay attention to the follows, but I literally can't see my screen right
That's
now.
all
It's so
good.
bright outside.
I heard the
I might have to move again. Maybe I should move again. There's more shade over there now.
That's okay.
I don't know if I should move again. Should I move again?
Right. You look right.
Okay.
It's all good.
So much shade behind me, though. I'm in direct sunlight now. Very hot. Anyway, so yeah, looking at this album from all those different perspectives was kind of like a really interesting way of listening to this album. But Hit Me Back No More, it was like that was probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
Just because I like it was very like, I think that was the one that felt the most Bruno Mars to me, and I think that's why I liked it.
Yes,
because it had that, it had that guitar, it had like the catchy tune, and I don't know, I like the hook of it. I thought it was really catchy and
it
clever.
Had like a doo-wop kind of feel too.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. A little bit of doo-wop.
Is pretty good at doing. Ooh, thank you, Andrew KP4 for the follow on Twitch. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
So if you guys don't know, my name's Millie Rouge.
My name is Marissa Kay.
And
if you're wondering kind of what we're doing here, we're doing a live album review of Heartbreak in the Hills by Conor Matthews. And if you want to check out any of the scheduling stuff that we do, our hub is kind of Instagram. So if you want to go check us out on Instagram, we post everything there. It's at Vienna Whyte on
Andrew
Instagram.
asked if this is live. This is absolutely live.
Whoop, we are live.
Yeah. So anyhow, let's kind of keep let's keep chatting about this album. We are on to now, I think, just give me a second here. We're going to talk about now the lyrics and vocals. So the lyrics are really playful, and Conor has this way of making them, he has this really fun writing style with lyrics and the way he kind of plays with them. And he's just very honest and straight to the point. His vocals, he's got a huge range in his vocals, which is very, very impressive.
Huge range.
Holy crap.
Absolutely.
And then I wrote this before I knew kind of the inspirations, but he's got the JT, Usher, R&B vibes for sure. I believe I saw some of those as his inspirations. So that's kind of what solidified that thought process for me. So what'd you think?
Oh, yeah. I thought like his vocal lines obviously are the shining, like the shining star of this album is all of his vocal lines. And just in general, like he's just like a very, very talented vocalist, obviously. I really enjoyed his honest lyrics. In a, like I said before, the lyrics were so honest in a way of just like, oh no, I hope my ex doesn't hear this, but I kind of hope my ex hears this kind of thing. I thought that was really clever and really cool. And in terms of like the actual, I think one of my favorite lyrics from this album, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but it was something of like, it was like something like, I only want you and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I said too much. Like, I just love that little like spoken line. I was like,
It's kind of like the first thought your brain has before you filter it out. And you're like, nope, shouldn't say that, should not have said that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was just like a really cool thing. So yeah. Absolutely. Did you have any favorite lyrics from this album at all?
I think a lot of my favorite lyrics were like in the song Sex. Just because, like I said, it was really playfully written. I can't remember them really off the top of my head, but I I'd have to look at it, but I because he did actually mention this in kind of his Spotify interview, but he said, because your sex life was a playlist and I'm your greatest hit. When I heard that, I was like, oh, you are a piece of work, but I love it. But yeah,
what an amazing way of looking at it. I love it.
And then actually, I think I did write this lyric down. Let me see here. Just because you're my ex don't mean we can't reconnect. I like that line a lot.
Oh yeah. I think that was also in that song.
Yeah. And
we've all thought that at one point, I'm pretty sure. So
I like it. It's very creative. So I want to move on to talking about I think Reddit went down. I might need to restart it again. Let's talk about instrumentation a little bit. Okay, we are going to restart Twitch because we ran out of time here. Let's restart it up.
Restart Twitch or restart Reddit?
Reddit, sorry, not Twitch.
Okay. I was like,
wrong platform.
So I'm going to try to move into the shade here, but keep talking. I'm still listening.
So instrumentation was really light. It was super airy. The beats were straightforward. That's kind of like that pop genre, very simple and not needing a whole lot of layers just because it's pop, and pop doesn't need to be that complicated. And I think it works because he has this really broad voice, and it shows off by having such simple instrumentation of how he was in his albums. So I think the instrumentation was fairly straightforward, and I mean, it didn't have a whole lot to it, but I think it was perfectly well done for the situation of kind of what it was. So yeah. So, oh my gosh. Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh no, I can't do anything. Are you okay?
So Marissa's not going to be outside anymore for these things because she just made a fool of herself on the internet trying to move around.
Are you okay?
That didn't help at all. I didn't move into the shade at all, but it's fine.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I was like,
anyway.
No, she's going down.
There's shade here. I tried moving into the shade. It didn't work, but it's fine. We're going to keep going anyway. Right. So we're going to
2 for 2, hey? 2 days in a row now. It's okay.
Everyone just saw my legs go up over my head, but it's fine. Whatever. It's fine. I'm going to never be outside ever again. So it's fine. So anyway,
we've got some F's in the chat here. Anyhow.
That was so embarrassing. Okay,
we'll move on. Instrumentation. I said it was really light, fluffy.
Yeah. So the instrumentation for sure. I think that in terms of the instrumentation, I thought it was really, really well done in terms of the beat versus guitar versus drum versus synth. The vocals especially were also really, really well, I guess well mixed.
Mixed in.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sorry, my brain is still in embarrassed mode.
No, that's okay. What did you think of the album artwork itself?
The album, I thought it was interesting. It wasn't when I looked at the album artwork, because it was in that kind of black and white area. I wasn't expecting the album to be the bop that it was.
Yeah.
When I looked at the album artwork, I was like, okay, this is going to be a sad boy album. And I didn't really look up Conor Matthews before we started this. And
ooh,
sorry, there's just a butterfly.
That was huge on the screen. It's massive.
Again, it's chaotic out here in the wilderness.
You're in the wild. I
am in the wilds, and apparently my chair just doesn't know how to sit properly. So anyway, okay. So yeah, because I hadn't looked up who Conor Matthews was before we did this. So I thought when I looked at the album artwork, I was like, okay, this is going to be a sad boy pop album, or maybe a folksy kind of album, because it looked really and really sad with that bold print in front. But then, so for me, it didn't match. It was really strange.
Yeah,
actually.
I had kind of a similar thought process, because there's nothing too crazy about the actual album artwork itself, but It honestly, and I don't, I'm just gonna say it, but it looks like it could be a Facebook profile picture of this dude named Tyler who's like trying to look all like edgy and like. I just didn't think it was like that amazing, you know? And maybe it was like a quarantine photo, you know? And he's like, you know what, we can't do photo shoots. Let's just do this like this old photo of me and just put some filters. But I don't know about the editing of the photo. I don't know if I like it. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge fan. But I mean, album artwork is not really like the biggest thing to worry about, but
Yeah.
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 So let's chat about colors that you saw.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know kind of what you saw. Very, very curious.
Well, it's interesting because like the first time I listened to this album, I was really focused on working out. Like I was focused on getting up that giant hill on my bike, and I was like, ugh, and just using the music as like, shoo, shoo, like to help me kind of get up the hill. But in terms of colors, I was thinking a lot of like reds, just based on the content of the album, because it's sad content, so you think like blues and greens and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But with this one, I was thinking kind of like warmer colors, so like reds, oranges, that kind of thing.
Yep. I actually got some like black and gold and like red colors. I don't really
black
know
and
why,
gold.
but yeah, I mean,
Good
just
one.
kind of that like professional / bold, very in your face kind of colors that are just colors that don't need a lot of explaining. You know, like there's kind of statement colors, if you will. So. Let's move on to chatting about who would we recommend this album to.
Ooh, I would recommend this album to anybody who's just gone through a breakup, or actually, you know what? You don't even have to have just gone through a breakup. I think that if you're sad in general and you just want to like be sad and be in your feelings, but you also just want to be happy, I think that it's like the perfect album to listen to if that's kind of what has been going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, Chris just doesn't know what you're talking about. I'm just thinking back to it. So
It's fine. Our manager's gonna see it. He'll be like, Marissa.
I'm gonna use it as the Instagram. Okay. I can't get it out of me for some reason. Whoo, be professional. Okay. So I would actually, I found this interesting because I would say that I would recommend this album to anyone who is actually like a rapper.
Yeah. Actually, I think that actually be really cool. I would love to hear some
like features,
some
or
remixes
like
of this song with some with some features. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear
that does like R&B too, like, you know.
Yeah, I'd love to hear like some really, really cool verses done. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely. So actually, for talking about how and where we would listen to this album, I actually got a direct kind of quote again from Conor that I think was interesting. And I think this is, well, first what I'll say is when I imagine this album and where I would listen to it if I hadn't listened to it already is I would listen to this walking to work, out for a walk on a sunny day, or just cruising on a drive. But what Conor said is he actually said, I hope it plays in clubs, house parties, and in the car when you want to feel good. Maybe listeners going through breakups can use it to have a fun in the midst of heartbreak. Honestly, I hope a couple people get irresponsible to it. He grins.
I was literally thinking that exact same. When I was listening to this album, I was like, this would be perfect to put on if you're on like a third or fourth date and they came over for like, you know,
fun time
for some Netflix and chilling, and you threw this album on. I think that actually be like the perfect setting for this album. Also, I would totally listen to it in the car as well. It's gonna be on the internet forever now, and I regret it so much. I regret every decision I've ever made.
I can't, because I can tell you're not over it. So I can't get over it. Okay. So we have two more things to talk about. We can get through this. So conclusion. Let's talk about conclusion. This is actually a really decent album. It's very pop, very Hollywood in my opinion, very like Los Angeles type of feeling. But I think that the vocals really, really shine on this album. That's what really, really stuck out for me. I'd love to hear more from Conor, and just I look forward to seeing him blow up and getting more lit in the music world. So
I'm very interested to hear what else he's going to be putting out. I'm excited to
Yeah.
hear what a not breakup album would sound like
Mm-hmm.
from him.
Totally.
I'd be interested to hear about other things that he'd like to write about. I'd love to hear his interpretation on certain things,
Mm-hmm.
especially with like the style of music that he does. I feel like
Yeah,
I'd just be really excited to hear what he's going to come up with
absolutely.
next.
So I give this a grade level B plus.
Yeah, I also actually I graded it a little bit higher. I gave it an A minus.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool. So for those of you watching at home, whether that be Twitch, Reddit, um, maybe YouTube later, make sure to check us out on Instagram. We have a direct link to all of our social media. So we actually have a Facebook page, YouTube page, I already said Instagram, Twitch page. We have a website. We have a podcast on Spotify. Is there anything else I'm missing? TikTok.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want
Yeah.
to just kind of find everything, we post everything on Instagram. We also have a website, viennawhite.com, if you guys want to go check it out there. But yeah, we're going to be posting this on Spotify a little bit later, on YouTube an hour after this is posted. And we
Yeah.
do these every single day.
Alrighty. Well, my name is Millie Rouge.
And my name is She Falls Down a Lot. I'm kidding. My name is Marissa. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. And I hope you were entertained, because I sacrificed a lot for your entertainment today. I should have done a backflip, but anyway.
You should.
So yeah, so thank you guys, everybody, so much for watching. Again, if you're on Twitch, give us a little follow. It helps us out a lot. We actually reached 1,000 followers recently, so we're going to do a very special stream very soon. On Reddit, I'm going to be on Reddit at 1 p.m. today,
Awesome.
Mountain
Standard time.
Mountain Standard Time.
And 8 o'clock.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. 8 o'clock, we're going to be back on Twitch streaming tonight, the two of us.
Live music.
So come request a song, and we film these little morning brews every single day. So if you want to check out our album reviews for the rest of the week, we're going to be live 10 a.m. MDT Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well.
Awesome. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Bye.